I am super excited to see Spider-Man No Way Home. It's one of my most hyped movies of the year. I've been hyped for this movie for a long time. I was hyped for this movie even before the Spider-Verse stuff came out. I love Spider-Man and I've been wanting to see this movie for a long time. But as excited as I am, there are things that still worry me about the movie. I'm still worried about a couple things. So let's get into them right now.
Let's get it. Top 5 things that worry me about this movie. Let's get it. Okay, so the first thing I'm worried about is the number of villains in this movie. Some of the worst Spider-Man movies are the ones that try to fit too many villains in at once. The reason Spider-Man 3 was so bad was because they were trying to balance 3 villains at once, with Goblin Harry, Venom, and Sandman. And the reason The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was so bad, because they were trying to balance 3 villains again with Electro, Rhino, and Green Goblin. The point is, when you try to fit so many villains into one film, sometimes the film can lose focus. And this movie is rumored to have like at least 5 villains, with a potential 6 to assemble the Sinister Six. My worry is that the movie will have a hard time focusing on Peter and his story when it has 6 villains to work with as well. Plus, Doctor Strange is in this too, and potentially the other Spider-Man. My worry is that we'll lose focus on our Peter, the MCU Peter. I just hope that with all these villains, all these characters, that the movie will still be able to tell a focused story to conclude MCU Peter's first Spider-Man trilogy. Okay, so now we're at the second thing that I'm worried about. I got confused there for a sec. Okay, so my next worry, it still involves the villains. So worry number 2 is that I'm worried that these villains will have no connection to Tom's Peter. What I mean by that is that I'm worried that there will be no significant connection between MCU Peter and these villains, considering that they're from all different universes. The best villains in Spider-Man movies are the ones who have a personal connection to Peter. Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2 and Vulture in Spider-Man Homecoming are both amazing villains, and the main reason for this is because they both have personal relationships with Peter Parker that intersect with him being Spider-Man. I just hope they can form some reason for Peter defeating the villains other than he needs to take them down because they're ruining his world. Damn, this video is going by really quickly because now we're at the third worry I have for this movie. Okay, so third reason that I'm a little bit worried about the movie is that I'm worried about Peter's identity. I feel like by the end they need to make everyone forget that Peter is Spider-Man again. I don't think everyone should know that Peter is Spider-Man. I think his identity being a secret is one of the main characteristics of Spider-Man. His identity being revealed in Far From Home was a really cool way to end that movie, but if Peter is given a chance to make everyone forget that he's Spider-Man, then he should probably do it. This movie should make Peter understand that he can't be both Spider-Man and Peter. Those lives need to be separate. The main reason Peter keeps this secret isn't to protect himself, it's so that he can protect others. He does it so that no villains can get to his Aunt May or MJ or any of his other friends. My hope is by the end of the movie, Doctor Strange finishes his spell and everyone forgets that Peter is Spider-Man again. I just feel that his identity being a secret is an important character trait for both Peter and Spider-Man. Even though they are the same character, it's important for both of them. Okay, so the fourth thing that I'm worried about is that I'm worried that this will be Spider-Man's last appearance in the MCU. I know that there are a ton of people who don't like Spidey in the MCU, but I really enjoy the fact that he's in this universe. There are so many big heroes in this universe, and it's cool to have someone who just protects the neighborhood, like Spider-Man. I've heard from some that this movie might serve as Spider-Man's MCU exit, and I just really hope that's not the case. I know someone like High Top Films would have an orgasm if Spider-Man left the MCU. Not a diss on High Top Films, I think he's a very talented dude. I really liked Alex's video on Spider-Man 2. It was one of the best videos on Spider-Man 2 I've ever seen. I just don't agree with him on some of the MCU Spider-Man stuff. But yeah, he's super talented. Check out his channel, High Top Films. But anyways, I loved Homecoming, and I thought Far From Home was pretty decent. Not great, but decent. I just hope we get more Spidey MCU stuff so we can get like Miles Morales in the MCU, because I think that would be pretty cool. Okay, so now we're at the last thing that worries me about Spider-Man No Way Home. And this one is simple. I'm worried that the movie will be bad. What if I go into the theater and I hate the movie? Like, I was so hyped for this movie, what if I just don't like it? I've been hyped for this movie for like 2 years. Even before the Spider-Verse stuff, I was hyped for this movie. What if I walk out of the theater and I don't like it? I think lots of people have this feeling when they go see a movie they've been waiting for a long time. What if I go in and I watch it, but I don't like it? I guess the thing is with this Spider-Man movie, I just want this to be a Spider-Man movie that everyone agrees is the best Spider-Man movie. Everyone is so divisive in this very toxic Spider-Man fan base that I hope Spider-Man No Way Home is just the best movie, so everyone can just shut up and agree that this movie is amazing. From everything I've seen from the movie, it looks like it's going to be good. I always have this fear when I go see a movie that I've been excited for, that I think in my head, what if I don't like it? But you can't think that way. You just have to go, get excited, go see the movie, and make your own opinion. Plus, with Marvel Studios still involved, I think this movie will be good. Plus, live action Spider-Verse is pretty cool. Everyone wants to see Tobey as Spidey again, obviously. I just hope that everything lives up to the hype that has been built up in my mind. This is the part where the video should have ended. But guess what? It didn't, you know? I got some explaining to do right here. Sorry for the camera dip quality. The camera I use when I film this is dead, so I have to use my webcam. Secondly, why am I adding this onto the end of the video? You might ask that. It's because I recorded this video in October, mid-October. The only thing we had of Spider-Man was the first trailer. We had the first trailer. New stuff has come out. So you might be wondering, okay, you recorded this in October. We've seen the second trailer. We've seen the new posters. Is there anything you're worried about? Are you still worried about some of these stuff? And I'm like, kinda. I don't even remember what I was talking about. Like, what were the things? I have to... 1 second! Spencer, do a cut! Okay, Spencer. Cut back! We're back! We're back. Okay, so the first thing I was talking about was that I was worried about the number of villains. Still worried about that. I feel like it's a little overcrowded. But, you know, I think they'll make it work, because based on the trailer, it looks like, I don't know, it looks like the whole movie is Spider-Man taking down the villains one by one, and then all of a sudden they get out all at the same time. He has to take them all down. And that's a good way to introduce like a Sinister Six or Sinister Five or whatever the hell, you know. I'm still a little worried, but maybe not as worried as I was when I wrote this. So anyways, let's just get to the next one. I was worried that the villains wouldn't have a good connection to Peter. And I'm still worried about that because it doesn't... the trailer didn't show anything to have like that... to show that Peter does have a connection to them, like that will make it like more intense, you know. I think that based on what I've seen in the trailer, I think that one of the villains kills one of his friends or his family's loved ones, right? So I think that is the connection we get by the final battle, you know. I'm still worried about it because I'm not even sure if that's going to happen. That's just a theory, but you know, it might happen. I'm still a little worried about that, though. I'm definitely worried about that. So the next one was that I was worried about Peter's identity. This one hasn't changed. I'm still worried about this. I'm even more so now. Yeah, you know, you just watched the video. Peter's identity. Yeah, I'm afraid that they'll just keep it so Peter is like known as Spider-Man. I don't want that. I want him to have a secret identity. Secret identities are cool, I think, because it shows that this hero is trying to protect his family. I just hope, like I said, I hope by the end they reverse the spell, blah, blah, blah. You know, you saw the video. I'm still worried about this. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to go through them, and I'm going to talk about the ones that I'm still worried about. And this one, definitely worried about this one. So the next one was like, I'm worried that this will be his last appearance in the MCU. And honestly, this has gotten even more worrying for me. I think I said, I love Peter in the MCU. I love Spider-Man in the MCU. Tom Holland has said, like, he's not even sure what he's doing after Spider-Man No Way Home. And I think he's lying, obviously. I think he knows what's going to happen. But I don't know. I'm a little afraid that maybe he will actually change his mind. Maybe he doesn't want to play Spider-Man anymore. And you know, maybe that leads the way for Miles in the MCU. Maybe Sony and Marvel are still tight and they're like, let's just do Miles. And I'd be down with that, but I feel like we need to see, we've only seen half of Peter's story, I feel. We've seen his high school years. I want to see his college years. You know, I want to see him out of college into the Avengers, and then, you know, we have an end game type thing, right? So yeah, I'm still worried that this might be his last appearance in the MCU. But I've heard rumors that they're going to do another trilogy. I'd be down. That sounds tight. Do it college years. Peter's college years are all... There's so many college years comics of like Peter in college. You could grab from so many. Have him fight Kraven, please. That's all I want to see. Oh yeah, I was just worried that this is going to be bad. Has that changed? No. It's hard to explain. I think based on the second trailer, the movie looks good. Everything looks good. What I'm worried about is that it just won't work. What if it just, the story just doesn't work? Like, I don't know. I think I am still worried about that. I'm worried that it might not be good. And I said in the video, I just want everyone to love this movie. And because, you know, Spider-Man fans are mean. Like, they're worse than Star Wars fans. Yeah. So yeah. What else should I add? I hope you enjoyed the video, right? You want more videos of me just talking to the camera, talking about like movies I'm excited for, or like talking about like why I'm excited for a particular movie? You know, hit a like, comment it down below. Let me know. Tell everyone you know to subscribe. I want you to take. I want you to go to the mall. I want you to go to the mall. I want you to steal phones, right? I want you to go into the YouTube. I want you to subscribe to my channel, The Spencer.G Show. And I want you to give their phone back, obviously, because if you don't, that's stealing. And you don't want to steal. You don't want to be a bad boy. Like me, you know. Look at me. Yeah, so, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it's not too long. It might be long because I'm adding this at the end, and I'm really just improvising this. And no script here. This is all improv. See, I'm so good at improv. Like and subscribe. Anyways, I gotta go because honestly, I legit have to take a crap right now. I have to poop. So, okay. Bye.